Hello there, friends. I'm so happy to see you again. I hope you're doing well and that life is not too cruel to you at the moment. I actually have one exam left, and that makes me feel so happy. Like, the relief is undescribable. This has been a really hard semester for me, and I just feel good that it's over. To celebrate my, surviving, I cleaned up the basement with my mom. And there I found a few of my really old sketchbooks. And I'm not talking about something last year or 2 years ago, no, I'm talking about from back when I was 15 with burning passion for cringy anime and questionable art skills. It's pretty bad and embarrassing, to be honest, but I do want to show it to you someday, probably on like a Patreon video, kind of like, hey, look how terrible I was 5 years ago. I think sometimes beginner artists or, children, people who just started, have really nice ideas, but what halts their progress, I guess, or really the bloom of these ideas is the lack of skill. And honestly, that is my case. My ideas from back then are not bad, I still like them today. So I want to update them a little bit. For a long time, I wanted to revisit my old works and repaint them with my current skill, see if it will be better. And I'll get to it, I promise. It's just I constantly have some more urgent or more exciting projects to do, like the painting over here. The reason why I even bring up this entire concept of old ideas and revisiting them is because this painting too had to go through an evolution process. And I thought it will be interesting to talk about this process and how artists often have to really think about their ideas for a long time and develop them for them to look the way they do. So that's what the video is about. I will go through the process, the idea development of this painting, and I'll tell you all about it. The first sketch that led to this painting I did probably like a year or year and a half ago when I was still in high school. Like I remember I think I was at second half of grade 12 when I first drew it. Sorry, sketches are drawn, not painted. Yeah, so it was a portrait of a woman, and more like kind of a face. I have this thing when I draw characters for the first time, I just kind of draw a face with no context whatsoever, no body, nothing, it's just the face, and I work from there. I don't know if that's the correct way to design characters, but that's just how my brain sees it. So yeah, the first sketch was just the face of this woman with kind of the fierce look and the branches coming out of her head. I really like this. I've been like almost obsessed with this idea of like tree branches or flowers coming out of people's heads, almost like horns. I don't know, I've been drawing it quite a lot recently and also like a year ago. I guess it's my new angels, I don't know. Anyway, so I had the face, and then I thought, hey, I want to make a full body out of it. So that was the second sketch. And I actually really struggled with that. I want her to be kind of like natural. My original idea was to make her skin green, to kind of make this forest spirit. My struggle with the character's body stemmed mostly from the fact that I had no idea what clothing to put on her. And in the end, I decided to go out of my comfort zone and paint a nude figure. And I've never done that before. In fact, till this day, I've never done this before. I wanted to for quite a while, but it just never happened. That's how I got to the third sketch with the nude woman. And I was thinking about different poses for her and settled down for what you see. I added the bird, and I had no idea why. Honestly, I think my idea was to make the entire thing kind of green and yellow, and the bird yellow as kind of the sun, and have the character touching the sunbird. But it's not no specific species, it's just something I saw in my head and I sketched it. That's where things ended. I did not sketch anymore. I did not touch this idea for like a year after. So I just had this nude woman with a bird. and I left it there. Well, this great idea was just laying in my sketchbook untouched. I graduated and took a year break from school. I worked a lot, I applied for university, I did all that fun stuff. I had other projects, but from time to time I revisited that sketchbook and kind of looked at ideas from there, tried to see what I can do with them. That includes the sketch of this woman. And it took a while, but I think a few months ago, I revisited it again with a fresh mind, fresh ideas, and that's when the biggest change in this painting occurred. At some point, I realized that if you look at my Instagram, which is my portfolio, there's a disproportionate amount of women compared to men. And it's not because of some political preferences or whatever. No, it's simply because I'm really unfamiliar with the male body in like an artistic way. I have no idea how to paint it or draw it. It just doesn't work. It's so much easier for me to draw women. So I decided to challenge myself and add more men into my art. And that's when I decided that perhaps this nude woman can instead be a nude man. And that's also where the owl came in. Instead of this unrecognizable sunbird, I decided it's gonna be an owl. I love owls. Owls are great. So that's how we got to the next sketch. The man with the owl. He at first was a full body, but then I thought a portrait will be better because I really wanted to make their eyes gold. And if it's just a full body and the eyes are not the focus, then what's the point? So I got back to the portrait idea instead of a full body. I also decided to play a little bit with the Art Nouveau style, and that's where when I added this frame around that I wanted to paint gold as well. So in a matter of, honestly, a day, this painting went through such a drastic change. I changed the composition, the character, the bird, and pretty much the art style too. So that's, I guess, is one way an idea can evolve. You leave it alone for a while, you come back to it, and you really can see it in a different light that is more relevant to your current emotional or developmental state. Like if I painted this before I had this idea of, hey, let's paint more men, it would probably be really different. I showed this idea to my mom, who, by the way, is one of my biggest critics and advisors, which, thank you, Mom, I love you. And she advised me to paint the guy's skin in a shade very similar to the owl, to make this color relationship between them. And I was a little, to be honest, anxious about it, because the owl I chose is very brown, and I've never really painted people of color, and it was really hard for me to really imagine this working. It's another thing I'm unfamiliar with, because I've been painting white women for a very long time, and nothing else really. That's when the painting became really almost meaningful to me, because I'm tackling two things I struggle with. Skin colors that are not white, and men. But this challenge did open a really good door for me. I have this friend who is, I swear, one of the most good-looking people I know. His name is Ahmad, and I will link his Instagram below. If you like stuff about working out and just looking at pretty people, you should definitely follow him. He is so damn good-looking. So I messaged him and I asked, hey, can I paint you? And he's like, yes, please do it! So I chose a picture of him, and that was the reference. And because I had kind of a limit of what I can do with the pictures available to me, I changed the composition of the painting again to accommodate what I have. So this is the evolution it went through. It was a woman's portrait at first, then it was a full body of a woman, then it was a naked woman, then it was a naked man, full body, then it was a male portrait, and then it was a brown man's portrait. And that process took about a year. When I sketched it for the first time, when I sketched this idea for the first time, I was really excited about it, to be honest. The only reason why I didn't touch it for so long is because I was really busy, not because I didn't like it or something. But to be honest, now that I think back to it, I'm kind of happy that things didn't work out the way I wanted them to, that I had to give it a break for such a long time. Because if I painted it as the original, if I painted the original idea of this full body woman, it would be like there would be nothing special about it. It would just be similar to everything I painted before. But here I grown a little bit as a person and as an artist, and I had these different ideas and different challenges in mind that I decided to tackle with this painting, and that just makes it much more meaningful for me. It matters so much as an artist. I love seeing my own progress, and I would have not seen it if I tackled this painting right away. In art school, they constantly tell us to develop the ideas further, think about them more, keep them for a long time. When I handed in my final projects, I didn't hear, "Oh, this is such a good project." I heard, "Yeah, that's a good project, now push it further." So I guess that's their goal. They want us, the students, to really reach our full potential and dig into the themes we're exploring in a very meaningful way. On a side note, remember that I mentioned that I like owls? Probably started around the time when I read Harry Potter. And I read the entire thing in Hebrew, I loved it so much. But yeah, I like owls. There are two things in this world that I'm obsessed with. Angels, trees, and... well, that's three. Angels, trees, and owls. And anime. Oh god, I'm obsessed with a lot of things. But yeah, owls is one of these things that I really like. And actually, for a while, I wanted a tattoo of an owl on my shoulder. But probably I'll never do that because I am terrified of putting some art on my body that I might regret later. And also because I'm waiting until I'm like 25 and have money. For me, an owl always symbolized wisdom. And that's the only thing I really knew about this owl and its cultural significance. So I was a little curious to see what other cultures might think about this bird. And I discovered some really interesting stuff. The website I found all this information in is called owlpages.com, and I will link it in the description. According to this website, in Greek and Roman mythology, an owl symbolized wisdom, as probably we in the West know it as, and that came because of the owl's association with the goddess Athena, who is the goddess of wisdom and strategy. But in English folklore, an owl symbolizes doom or death. The website also talks about what an owl symbolizes in Native American cultures, and that part is very interesting. The list is long, so I will not read all of it, but I will talk about the themes that repeat. So for the Apache, an owl signified death. The Cherokee believed that an owl signifies punishments and sickness. The Cree believed that an owl was a messenger from spirits. There's some mythology about it, some legends, like the Inuit legend that is very interesting. They believe that the owl was once a girl. It's all according to this website, so it could be not true, or maybe the story is a little deeper than that. But I think it would be very interesting for you to check it out. You will be surprised how much an owl symbolizes. One thing I noticed that repeats quite a lot, not only in Native American cultures, but also in Europe, is the association of owl and death. I always thought that the bird that symbolizes death is a crow, but turns out an owl is just as scary. I guess it's only natural that humans would associate this night predator with death, or, something from another world. Considering like an owl can screech in this scary way and they hunt silently, this is a terrifying bird. So, am I surprised to know it symbolizes death? No, but that was an interesting discovery for me. Now that my little mythology lesson is over, I'd like to go back to the topic of this video and, talk about the painting. I'm gonna tell you about the techniques I used here. So, one thing I did is I wanted the background to be kind of this blurry thing that doesn't really pop out and instead supports the character and the owl. And what I used to do that is these really pale shades of green and brown. I think the brown really adds a lot of depth to it, and it creates this really good color balance between the foreground and the background. And to make the leaves, I used a calligraphy, or I guess Chinese watercolor brush. I'm still not sure what's the correct term for these specific brushes. I got him a while back from Costco. Costco, at least from that time, I don't know what about now, but around that time they sold these cheap art sets that you can buy to learn a new skill without really committing to it. So you just buy a set and it has the materials you need and an instruction book on how to do whatever it's meant to do. So we got a set for Chinese watercolor and for scrapbooking. And I think there was more. I'm pretty sure there was like acrylic painting and actual calligraphy. So yeah, that's how I got the brushes. And they came with some watercolors. They came with an instruction book and some rice paper. And I practiced a little bit. I'm not sure how accurate the instruction book is, but I picked up some really nice techniques from it. Like these lovely, lovely leaves you see in the background that I do with just one stroke. The tip of this Chinese watercolor brush is honestly amazing. It's sharp and it stays sharp, and its shape makes it so easy to control and so comfortable for certain shapes and certain brush strokes. I even used it for the guy's hair and for the owl's feathers because of its sharpness and how easy it is to control. The golden part in this painting is the Art Nouveau inspired frame and the eyes of the owl and the guy. And I had a little struggle of choosing which material I'll use for it, because I have some golden acrylic and I have some gold metallic watercolor that are really nice. But in the end I decided that I will use metallic leaf because the shimmer from it is a little better in my opinion. I still struggle with using metallic leaf. It's not an easy material at all, but it really worked well in this painting. I did make some mistakes and I fixed them off camera because I don't want to embarrass myself. And in the end it turned out so nice. You will see it and you will love it. My overall opinion and experience with this painting is nothing but positive. I love it. I love it so much. This painting was a challenge. It challenged two things that I'm really bad at: men and different skin colors, and I nailed these two themes. I was terrified that I will get my friend's skin color wrong. They'll be too yellow or too red or, just not flattering. But I got it just the way I wanted it to. It's probably not photographic perfect, but I have no complaints. I think it's great. And so does my friend. He was so happy seeing my progress. And that's honestly, that's what matters. Recognition from my friends means so much to me. The owl is great, the tree branches are great, the background, the frame, the eyes, everything is so good. If I have any complaints about this painting, it probably will happen in a few months when I get even better. But right now, I'm in heaven. It's so beautiful. I still didn't come up with a good creative title for this painting, so for now, it's called Ahmad, named after my friend who I painted here. If you have any ideas, if you look at this painting and you feel something, please tell me because I want to know. I really struggle with titles and I need your help, please. There probably won't be any prints of this painting. To be honest, I don't really feel like making prints. They don't sell that well and nobody really wants them. Like, I myself don't buy prints unless it's an artist that I really, really love. And even then, I probably will never do that. So I just don't see any use in prints, but I did order a few stickers of this painting and they will be on my shop eventually. I didn't get them yet, but I will. And when I get them, I will let you know on my Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. Do it. Do it now. If I'm already touching on the topic of my Etsy shop, I have some art there and I have some jewelry. and the jewelry is really cute. Check it out. It's so adorable. And I'm gonna update it soon and put some bracelets in there and some other originals, like older art. So if you're interested in that stuff, if you want to support me like that, there's my Etsy shop, linked in the description below. There's also Patreon, where I put a lot of exclusive videos, mostly how I edit my art or all the digital stuff I do. I do a little bit of digital art. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big like and leave a comment. Please leave a comment. I want to know what you think, and subscribe for more content that will come eventually. Have a good day. Goodbye.